Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to the free online event before Baby Revolution, How to Love Yourself, Consciously Create Your Baby, and Enjoy Life Now. Today we have a wonderful guest joining us. Everyone, please welcome Russell Davis. Russell Davis, fertility coach and cognitive hypnotherapist, writer, and speaker, believes that too many couples go through fertility treatment unnecessarily and that the success rate of treatment is unnecessarily low because the mind and emotions are not catered for in the journey. Russell helps women and couples find peace of mind, stop feeling as if their life is on hold, and feel a deeper sense of well-being as they continue to their journey to get pregnant. Russell founded the Fertility Mind Fertility mind-body programs and coaching based on he and his wife's 10-year double infertility journey, which resulted in natural conception of their son. Thanks for joining us, Russell. I'm really excited to learn about your journey here on this interview.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have to say, tell us about that 10-year journey. What was that like?
Yeah, I wouldn't wish it on anyone, obviously. But looking back, I can see
Right.
some fabulous positives that come from it. But it started. My wife was diagnosed with PCOS as a teenager.
Okay.
So she always thought maybe she couldn't have children. We knew that before we got married. And what's interesting was we met actually doing children's and youth work. That was a big part of our lives.
Cool.
Children was a big part of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought, okay, we're okay with this because we can always foster or adopt. There'll always be children in our lives. It doesn't have to be our own. There's plenty of children out there that need love. We're okay with this. And as we got into married life, my wife decided there must be a better way of managing this rather than just taking drugs. And she sought out a better way, more holistic way to try and maybe kind of look after herself. And we found a great kind of more natural gynecologist who started to question whether she really had PCOS, maybe been misdiagnosed.
No way.
When PCOS is clearly a very complex condition, and anyway, but so yeah, he got her full cycle back, or full cycle the first time, and,
cool.
and 8 years into marriage, for the first time, having children was a real possibility. And it was interesting when it became a real possibility. That's when we became really kind of honest with ourselves to realize, yeah, there's nothing more we want more than to have our own children.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost we're kidding ourselves, trying to protect ourselves from the pain. Mm-hmm. So no, we're okay with this.
That's subconscious, right? Like that's super
Absolutely,
subconscious. Yeah.
It's just a protection mechanism, So then we tried about a year or so, by that point we really knew, as you do on this journey, you get to know about fertility and everything, the technicalities and everything else, and we've become quite experts after 8 years. And then after a year or so of trying, things weren't happening. We thought, this doesn't look good. So we went back to find out what was going on. And we found out I was infertile. No one ever suggested I get a test up to that point because all the focus had been on my wife. And my results were so bad across the board, disastrous across the board. I remember the doctor asking me whether I've had radiology or was exposed to radiation before. And the answer was no, but that was a real kind of kick in the teeth. I felt like we'd done this 8-year marathon and it was getting positive as we went along. We get to the end, we think that's it. I need to be told, no, you've got to do it all over again. And this time it's going to be even harder. It's like, it was a real kick in the teeth. And then I thought, no, I tried to be positive about it. And do you know what? We're going to be okay. I think with male reproduction, with male sperm, regenerating every 3 months, you have more flexibility or more leeway to change things, improve things, and make a difference. So I tried for 4 months. I did everything to try and improve my fertility. All the things I firmly believe can make a difference. Lifestyle, diet, nutrition, herbs, not keeping my phone in my pocket, baggy pants, the whole lot.
Totally.
And after 4 months, took a test result, and they were slightly worse. The doctors didn't believe they could get any worse. Yeah, and it was
no way.
And that was the lowest of that was kind of hitting rock bottom, thinking, okay, do you know what does this mean? Where does this go? Where would it go with this? And it was a time of letting go as well, actually. I let go because I realized actually there's nothing I can do about this. I've tried everything, there's nothing I can do. We really are in the hands of the clinic. And the clinic were looking at the results thinking, well, maybe we could try ICSI. They weren't too sure whether even that was going to be worth trying for us. And it kicked off a whole kind of interesting journey within me, because subconsciously, I wasn't aware of it at the time, but subconsciously I've been living life, I'll be happy when. It was always the next thing. It was always, I'll be happy when I prove to the world, prove to my mum I'm a good boy. I'll be happy when I prove to the world I'm good, I'm clever, I've got a degree. I'll be happy when I've got that secure job and I can relax. No, I'll be happy when we're getting married. No, I'll be happy when we have children. It was always the next thing. And suddenly this next thing wasn't happening. It was just completely shut down. And it questioned. I went this bit of a tailspin, a bit of kind of a mini kind of crisis, and thinking, where does happiness come from? I started to recognize I wasn't really happy in life. I had all the things in life you think would make you happy: lovely wife, good job, career, and everything else. But I wasn't. If I was really honest, I wasn't really happy. And it was the first time I was really honest with myself that I wasn't really happy. And I started to realize I was living life other people expect of me. I was in this career because I thought it was a good, safe career. And I was living the life other people expect of me rather than being true to my soul. So I was being too much of a people pleaser. Well, cut a long story short, I started being true to myself, started living true to me, resigned from that job I wasn't enjoying, started doing the things I enjoyed more. I was still talking to the clinic. Well, lo and behold, my wife became pregnant naturally 3 months later. It was 1 in a billion chance we were told it could happen naturally. We weren't even trying because there was no point in trying. And I was intrigued, thinking, how does that happen? So I did a test result soon after that, and my fertility improved dramatically without me actually trying to improve it. I can look back and see exactly what happened. When I was trying to improve things, my fear of it not happening was overriding all the good stuff I was doing. I was in such a fearful mindset. That fear was doing more damage to my body than actually all the herbs and all that other stuff I was doing. When I found that place of peace, and I still found a place of peace that was, do you know what? Whatever happens, I can build a life that's full of inspiring things. I can live a fulfilled, inspiring life that may or may not involve children. I still hope it does, but it may not. And it's almost as if having children shifted from a need to a want, and then things just fell into place psychologically and physically. And that's why I talk a lot to my clients about Project You versus Project Baby. When you focus on Project You, Project Baby tends to take more care of itself, either naturally or with treatment. So that's the kind of, so looking back, I can really be thankful for some of the stuff I learned about myself, about relationships, about emotions, all sorts of stuff I learned. That I used to be scared of emotions. I used to live in my head, safer in there. Mm-hmm. And I've learned actually that emotions aren't things you have to run away from. And so I wouldn't wish it upon anyone, but I'm really glad some of the things I learned about myself from that led to me retraining and now doing what I'm doing and helping other people on their journey. So, yeah.
It's an incredible story. I could ask you 100 questions. It's lit up a whole bunch of light bulbs in my head. What was it? I'll start with, what was it that call in your heart to kind of go, like what made you kind of that call in your heart to go natural, that kind of knew it was going to happen? And essentially what this is about is all the subconscious beliefs, right? So how do people begin to get access to that calling in their heart, or to the even also just the subconscious beliefs? You're a hypnotherapist, so how does that start?
There's two sides to this. One is accessing our unconscious mind, and our unconscious mind controls all our bodily functions, including reproduction. And if you think about it, reproduction requires a very, very delicate balance of hormones at each stage of the process, and they can be easily knocked out through stress and other things. And we can access our unconscious mind through many ways. One is hypnosis. I'm a cognitive hypnotherapist, so I do use hypnosis. Visualizations is another way. Daydreaming is one. Daydreaming is a way of accessing our unconscious mind. The state of trance that hypnotherapists talk about is nothing special. It's not a special state that only hypnotherapists can get people into. We drop into a state of trance many times a day. If you drive a journey you do regularly, you get to a destination, you have no recollection of the journey. You've been on autopilot. That's a state of trance. Reading a book and not being aware of someone trying to get your attention. That's a state of trance. And what we're doing as hypnotherapists is utilizing that space, because your conscious mind is quiet and you can engage more into your unconscious mind. So you can do that. You can listen to hypnotherapy tracks. You can do it through visualizations. You can just imagination. You can just let your mind wander. I'll give you some examples. Even now, I use it a lot. If I want to heal myself, I've got an injury, sporting injury, I visualize my body repairing itself. I just visualize crazy thing. And it doesn't be biological. If I pull a muscle, I visualize a little workman in my body repairing the muscle.
I've done that before. It works.
It works. It really does work. That's amazing. Or if I feel like I'm under weather, I visualize my immune system being strong. I don't know what my immune system looks like. So for me, it's a big, strong white army, massive army, loads of them all dressed in white. Or there's all sorts of different ways. It's using your imagination. There's no right or wrong way to do this.
It's a good point. There is no right or wrong way to do this. Yeah.
It's about what works for you. And if I work with a client, I don't tell them what to visualize. I don't tell them how to relax. I access their own subconscious mind. I create the framework for them to fill the gaps in themselves.
Gotcha.
So it's allowing yourself to play with that. There really is no right or wrong. So you can access the unconscious mind in all sorts of ways. And it can be really powerful to harness that, because it's impacting you whether you were aware of it or not. And the more you're aware of it, the more you harness it, the more you can use it positively.
Absolutely. So how do we, do the visualizations and hypnotherapy yet still be present and enjoy life now, right? So how do we do that without staying present? How do you think of the future and want a certain thing to change, however, still loving life?
Great question, because I often talk about being in the now, and often a lot of our stress and fear is all future thinking.
Exactly.
And nothing can predict the future, not even your thinking. So going round and round and round it in your head is not actually helping anything. It's actually just providing stress. So a lot of people ask me, so visualization, surely that's future thinking. Well, for me, when you're being present to your body and tuning into your body's always in the here and now. So you're actually grounding yourself into the here and now.
I love that.
And then imagining your body doing what you want to do in the here and now. So you're starting from the here and now.
Okay, so that's first.
Yeah, so you're connecting to your body. So if I pull my muscle, I visualize, I see my muscle as it is. I see it torn, I see it broken in some way. And I visualize these repairmen coming in and repairing it. So I visualize the process from today, the process from this moment. And the process I want it to where it to lead to, and I visualize myself being fully healed, but starting from where I am today. So it's almost accepting where you are today, because a lot of people are so keen to get to where they want to be, they're not actually accepting where they are today. And acceptance for me is the double D40 of change.
Oh, I completely agree.
Yeah, and so many people just aren't accepting. And I often ask my clients, if I do a webinar, sometimes I ask this question. I say to people, say this phrase out loud: I accept myself as I am today. But then notice your internal response to it, because that tells you an awful lot of things. And a lot of people don't truly believe it because they're not accepting themselves today. And that for me is the key. And that's for us. When we found, do you know what? We accept we are childless at the moment. We accept where we are, but that's okay. We can build a inspiring, fulfilled life, where we are from the moment. People want to lose weight. They're so focused about where they want to be. If we don't accept where we are today, we actually tether ourselves to where we are today. It's like we stand by a big stick. We want to get that to another place over there, another stick. We actually put a big elastic band around where we are today, and we're striving forward to get to where we want to be, and create the goal or get there. We're not aware, actually, with that elastic band's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And then one thing happens, one trip up, one hard moment, one chocolate biscuit on that diet, and bang, you go back to square one, because we're not accepting we're okay as we are. So it's about understanding we are okay as we are. In this moment, we have everything we need to be okay, to be complete, to be content in this moment.
Right.
And it's about connecting and coming from that space rather than striving and being fearful about not getting to where you want to be. It's coming from a place of okayness in the moment and then guiding your body to journey to where you want it to do, the process from today.
So from that space of, guidance, and you do the visualization of, like, how many minutes per day would you say?
Again, there's no right or wrong. It's like if someone said, how do I do it? Well,
what's the bare minimum?
Bare minimum, I think it's trust your intuition. If I'd say something, I'd say maybe 2 or 3 minutes twice a day.
Yeah.
If you want a prescription for it.
Totally.
Like a pill. Just try 2 or 3 minutes twice a day, and to sit down consciously to do it, to sit down somewhere quiet, you're not going to be disturbed, and just play through it in your mind for 2 or 3 minutes. If you do that twice a day, what tends to happen, if you do it regularly, do it twice a day and do it every day, what happens is you start doing it other times you're not even being aware of it. You might be standing in a queue.
Oh, for sure.
And it just comes to mind.
Yeah.
Because your unconscious mind keeps doing it, keeps doing it. But if you want to start, 2 or 3 minutes twice a day is a good way just to get going. And I use visualizations a lot in my hypnosis tracks. So it's wrapped around hypnotic language and suggestion and everything else, which can make that connection to the unconscious mind more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
But you can start by just doing visualizations and just visualizing your body doing what you want to do.
Right. So how much of a level of trust is in this? Do you have to trust the process, or can you just, will your subconscious mind just take care of it? So meaning, you're present, you're becoming, you're doing mindfulness, and you're enjoying life now, and you're doing the visualizations, and then at that point, is that where you say, okay, now I just trust that was done, and I move forward back to being present?
Yeah, and it's about trusting whatever happens, you're going to be okay. That's the key thing to trust. Not trust is going to work. It's almost, when it shifts from a need to a want, it's almost, it doesn't matter if it doesn't work.
Exactly.
I want it to work. It doesn't matter if it doesn't work.
So the intention is completely different.
Yeah, so you let go of outcome. So you're going through the process, you're connecting to your body, but you're letting go of the outcome, because you can know whatever happens, you're going to be okay. That's what I say about Project You. When you connected to your true sense of self, your soul, and living life from your own soul, being true to you, having a sense of purpose, is even bigger than being a parent. And that's some people find that hard to hear, that actually I believe we have a sense of purpose bigger than being a parent. And being aware of that, connected to that takes the pressure off the process. It moves it from a need to a want. So you can trust whatever happens, I'm going to be okay. That allows you to relax into the process even more and connect to your body even more.
Mm-hmm. And even, I guess, detaching from needing even to be happy, right? Being okay. I love that. It's like being at peace, being okay, not needing to be high, flying high.
No, it's right. It's seeking happiness. You seek happiness the whole time. It's almost it's almost like positive affirmations. I think positive affirmations or positive thinking is such a veneer of well-being.
I completely agree.
And what's underneath it is often a lot of kind of insecure thinking or fearful thinking.
Well, it's funny. We have attachment to the bad. We have attachment to the bad feelings, not wanting it. We have attachment to the good feelings, just wanting to keep it. So attachment either way.
Yeah. And it's interesting, the more we just present, just be, allow ourselves to be. Just try and have an average day. Don't have a great day, just have an average day. The more you
Exactly.
an average day, the more actually content you are. Not obviously you're putting up the second best. You become more present to things and alive to things. There's nothing wrong with having great goals and
that's the irony.
And dreams. That's great. It's letting go of the attachment for that. And actually it's holding in one hand your aspiration in one hand, what you want to create in your life. In the other hand, knowing you're okay whatever happens.
I like that.
And it's the creative energy between the two.
The fine line.
And you're more likely to create that thing you want in your life rather than striving towards it. That striving, I must be happy, I must create these things. It's often built on fear of not having it.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That's so nice. And there is a fine line between the two, but not fine line. I like to call it kind of like a dance, right?
I love that. Yeah,
which is a nice spin to put it.
Yeah.
So you talked about earlier in the conversation about, how, being a man with your emotions is something that, you hid for a while, or you didn't feel safe to come out. And that's, a societal thing that we've learned, that men have learned. So, that's something really common in my clients as well, is the relationship they have with their husband or their partner. So how would you suggest, what can women do to help or include, or I don't know, at least, allow their partner to tap into that well-being and that peace as well?
Great question. I think men need educating on how to relate to women, to be honest.
Right.
I think men can be, I'm using men, women as a kind of stereotype here. And it's not always gender specific, because you can have a same-sex couple and they can have the same differences.
One's carrying though, and one's, right?
Yeah. So I think for me, because I was scared of my own emotions, I was hidden my kind of thinking. I was almost, to be honest, scared of my wife's emotions. And men try to fix things. Men go in and they want their woman to be happy, and they don't like to see them unhappy. And men, it's understanding the difference between men and women. Men communicate transactionally. Men communicate information as and when required. So they're sharing a problem because they want some help with it. Women communicate to be understood. Women are crying out to be seen,
to be heard,
to be felt. So they're communicating something to be understood, to be heard. Men hear it as, oh, you want help with this, and they go into trying to fix it, resolve it, rather than actually just hearing what the problem is or hearing what the feeling is. And when that doesn't work, because women get frustrated that they're not being heard, men say, well, I tried to say the right thing, I always say the wrong thing, it makes it worse. So men just, not sure how to deal with it. What women want is men to hold a container for them, for men to hold this space, for them to express their feeling without it being judged, without it being changed, without it being anything, just so they can hold that space so women can feel they can be in that space and express their feeling and be heard in that space. So it's almost men need to realize women are not men. It's like, and we need to learn to engage with women differently. And the fact that our job is to understand them. Our job is to hold that space for them without judgment, without trying to fix things or change things, and just hear them. Listen for the feeling they're communicating beyond all the words. And get out of our own heads, because when we get in our heads, when we get into our thinking, we make it about us. We hear criticism. We hear that they're having a go at us. They're blaming us again, or they're nagging us. It's getting beyond the words we hear and not taking it personally. Getting beyond the words and hearing the energy, hearing the emotion that's behind that, and connecting to that, and demonstrating you understand that. So I did a lot of work in helping men and women understand each other and communicate in that way to create a different connection, different conscious communication. What shocked me in our journey was 8 years into our journey that my wife said she felt quite alone on the journey. I thought, what do you mean I'm alone on the journey? I come to the appointments, we talk about things, I'm always there. She said, you're present physically, but I have no idea what's going on inside you. I have no idea how you feel about all this stuff. And she said that, on and off over the years, just in everyday life.
Yeah.
But it was really hit me in that journey. I thought we were doing it together. And that was my wake-up call to realize, actually, well, I thought I was serving her, helping her. And partly I thought I need to be the strong one. So I kind of buried my feelings. I thought I need to be the strong one. That's very common. And it's not what she wanted. She wanted to know what's going on in my feelings. The other thing is I had to learn to identify and communicate my feelings. So it's about listening, hearing the woman's feelings, but also communicating it. So what can women do to help men? I think just men like to fix problems, yeah? So give them a problem to fix. Say, look, I've got this thing going around me. I'm not sure what it is. Can you help me identify the emotion, what I'm feeling right now? Give them the job to do. Tell them, can you help me identify what it is I'm feeling? They love a problem to fix. And now you're really helping them understand you. You're helping them understand you.
I love that. That's a really good one. And it's simple. It's easy.
Yeah.
And it opens the dialogue, right? The momentum will build gradually as you continue to experience the journey.
Yeah. And also understand men and women are different. So times of stress, and often this can be evolved times of stress.
For sure.
And that's when the differences can come out more strongly. And women want to talk about stress, and men want to go in their cave. They don't want to talk. And nothing drives a woman mad more than seeing a man doing nothing. It's like, so it's recognizing it's not personal.
You're 100% right. Exactly. So that kind of brings us, you said on your journey that something that you experienced was you decided to be honest with yourself. You and your wife both decided to be honest with yourself. And a lot of the theme around the summit is that self-love, right? And the word self-love is just, I think it's lost its meaning a little bit because it's more common now. But to me, you being honest with yourself was a version of loving yourself. So my definition of loving yourself isn't necessarily loving every part of who you are, because there's things that you want to, work on and change. But it's just more like, I guess, would you say it's more like you said, acceptance of self? Like acceptance of self is self-love, unconditionally.
Yeah. Yeah. My biggest turning point was after I got my kind of second test result and it got worse. I took myself onto a silent retreat. I don't do that kind of stuff normally. This is before I knew anything about coaching and personal development and that kind of stuff. And my wife was quite surprised. So I realized running away from my emotions, my feelings. I had to go and sit and be away from distractions, away from the internet, work, all that kind of stuff, because I keep myself busy. And I looked at I was sitting in beautiful gardens, and I saw 2 vegetable patches. One was completely empty, and one was full of all these vegetables growing, lovely vegetables growing. And I looked at these 2 vegetable patches, and I saw the empty one. I thought, that's my life. it's barren, it's empty. Everyone else gets this other life full of everything growing, that they get stuff they want in their life so much easier than me. They get things that they enjoy and happiness so much easier. There's something wrong with me. Life is so much harder than me. I don't deserve happiness, or there's something wrong with me and my life is barren, it's empty. When I find that place of acceptance, you know what, realizing I've been like a victim in life and always expecting the next thing to make me happy and people pleasing, when I realized that understanding and came to that place of knowing that I am okay. And it comes down to exactly the same kind of self-love, because I realized I didn't truly believe I was okay. I had to prove I was okay to people.
Right, exactly. Yes.
And when I realized I was okay and I am allowed to be happy, give myself permission to be happy, give myself permission to feel feelings, to cry, to be sad, and everything's okay. All those experiences are okay. I'm still okay. I looked at that same scene a few days later and I sat there and I looked at the same scene. I looked at the empty vegetable patch. I thought, okay, that's my life. It's not full of all the things I want in my life right now. It's not full of a job that really inspires me.
Wow.
But it's a blank canvas. It's a blank canvas. It's accepting where I wasn't where I want to be, but that's okay. I can build on that. I can move forward on that. I was accepting I was okay where I was, and I deserve happiness as much as everyone else. I gave myself permission to be happy rather than trying to get people to like me.
Oh, I love that. That's so cool. And it's, it's not like it changed, but just your perception of it changed. Nothing changed physically,
no,
right?
Yeah.
It was just your perception.
Yeah, and our human experience comes from our perception. We live in the experience of our thinking, nothing else. We're not feeling the negative test result. We're not feeling our situation. We're not feeling the future. We're not feeling the boss just shouting at us. We're feeling our perception of all that stuff. Mm-hmm. We're living in the experience of our thinking, nothing else.
Yeah, and you didn't look at the vegetable patch that was, growing, and you didn't say, that's me now, that's me. You still looked at the same, visual, but different.
Yeah.
And, I just want to let everyone know too, on the audience, that, your awareness of your subconscious thoughts while you were looking, at it originally is, I don't want people to be hard on themselves for having that self-talk, because then you're just then that guy just comes, that self-talk comes in right in the back door.
We have no control over our thinking. We spend so much time trying to manage the content of our thinking. That just doesn't help. Just doesn't help.
Totally.
It's recognizing our thinking is completely spontaneous. It's never our thinking
totally yes
that's the problem. It's the thinking about our thinking that's the problem. So you're right. We get negative self-talk. That's fine.
Yeah.
But then we beat ourselves up for having it. It's the beating yourself up that causes the problem, not the original negative self-talk. So it's our relationship with our thinking that makes the difference, not the content of our thinking. So it's about recognizing we're human. This is not about being this Zen Buddhist monk who's in this Zen state 24 hours a day. That's just impossible. Now, I do believe we are spiritual beings, but we're spiritual beings having a physical experience. So it's about embracing our humanness as well as our spirituality. Recognize we are going to get upset about things. We are going to have habitual negative thoughts. That's okay. It's not the fact they happen, it's our thinking about it. It's whether we think they matter or not.
What are you making it mean? What are you making it mean?
Exactly. Yeah. It's whether you think it matters or not. Mm-hmm. Minor example is I used to be addicted to energy drinks. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm pretty healthy. Generally, I don't drink tea or coffee. I don't like the taste of it. But I'm pretty healthy. I'm vegan and very healthy. But I had this thing about energy drinks. Because I used to get bored of drinking water. I know it comes back to childhood when we weren't allowed fizzy drinks as kids. Except when we were sick. We were allowed to have
it's the same thing.
Many, many years ago, they called it a healthy drink.
Yeah, I could only have it on weekends. But still, that, I can relate.
Yeah, but I had a change of heart about where energy comes from. My wife's very healthy. She drinks a lot of water. She's saying, well, they fuel rockets with this stuff. I thought, no, they don't. I actually did aeronautical engineering at university. I used to be an engineer. They don't fuel it with water. They fuel it with hydrogen. And water is 2 parts hydrogen for every part oxygen. So suddenly I had a change of heart about where energy comes from. That water is not just about hydration. It's a source of energy. And since then, I've never touched another energy drink, but the thought still comes to mind. I could be tired and on a long car journey or something.
I like that a lot.
The idea comes to mind, but I have a different relationship with it. That makes sense.
Well, it is, because it makes huge sense, because a lot of people say they need coffee or they need, caffeine to keep going. But yeah, water is nature's caffeine.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
cool.
So there's a different relationship with our thinking. So
Yeah.
the thoughts that pops into my head, but I know it just doesn't matter. It's like we all get crazy thoughts, if you're honest. We all get crazy thoughts. I could be in a queue and be in a hurry and think, well, I'll push that person out of the way. I would never do it. But those thoughts are gone and forgotten about as quickly as they come in. They flow like clouds on the breeze because we think they just don't matter. But another thought comes in about whether we're going to get pregnant this month or not. We take it seriously because we think it matters. But they're both equal thoughts. They're both equal thoughts. All thoughts are neutral. It's the meaning we give them that makes a difference.
Yeah, and it's really about not having resistance, right, to any thought that decides to show up. Because we have so many different parts of our personalities, right? Everyone has insecurities. Everyone has, everyone falls short somewhere. And it's like you said, we're human beings. Absolutely. And people who get pregnant still have insecurities. We're not shooting for perfection here. This is just about being at peace and accepting now. So if you could give the audience one thing to begin enjoying life now, what would that be?
Great question. I think what it is, recognize you're in the perfect place right now. Mm-hmm. You are in the perfect place for your journey right now, in this moment.
Yeah. Feel what that's like in your body, just to say that out loud.
Yeah, and connect to your body. Be aware of your breath. Be in that moment. Be with your body in that moment. We're in the perfect space. You and your body are in the perfect space for this moment. And any thought that's not in this present moment is pure fantasy. Doesn't matter how plausible or realistic it is and how much evidence your thinking provides is going to happen. Any thought that's not in the present moment is pure fantasy. You are designed for reality. You're designed to be in this present moment. You have everything you need to be in this present moment. So just remind yourself you're in the perfect space in this moment.
I love it. And you're so kind to offer the audience a free gift. Would you care to elaborate on what that is?
Yeah, sure. It's there's three parts to it. One is there's an ebook which talks about the kind of the mind-body link in far more detail, and talks about visualization. In fact, about how you can do it. It's got some tips and some exercises in there you can go through your mind to help practice that whole process of visualizations. There's an ebook about the mind-body link and fertility. There's an hour seminar video I did, so they can spend more time unpacking this in more time in their own home, but also there's a sample hypnosis track so they can explore some of this hypnosis and guided visualizations.
Great, thank you so much. And what I think would be really good about that is if you can get your partner to listen to that, because I assume you speak to both, not to say that the other experts don't, but being a man, you probably have that kind of language that maybe they could relate a little bit more to. So if anyone's wanting to include the male on this journey, it would be a great idea to do it with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got a male-specific one on my website as well. I'm very keen to engage with men in this whole journey because obviously they're very reluctant to. Mm-hmm. So yeah, any way we can engage men in the dialogue is going to serve them and the relationship.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your incredible journey that you have. I know hindsight's kind of always 20/20, but still, it gives others, lots of hope and your message really aligns with mine. So I just really appreciate that. And I want to thank you for joining the Before Baby Revolution.
No, thank you for inviting me. It's been great.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Tune in tomorrow. Bye.